If there's one kryptonite for Superman, it's the putter.
Start your day with all the crucial information you need to become a sharper better. Check out VSiN by the books, weekdays at 7 a.m. Eastern on VSiN.
This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
The numbers told the story, they always do.
It's one of those idiots who believe in analytics.
This is a numbers game with Gil Alexander on VSiN.
Good Tuesday morning to you. This is a numbers game at VSiN, the sports betting network, VSiN.com, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, and of course SiriusXM channel 158. It's Gil Alexander, live from Circa Resort Casino, downtown Las Vegas. And once again, Wyatt Tomczyk, the voice of UNLV women's basketball, UNLV men's and women's soccer, women's volleyball, softball. Did I miss anything?
I think you got them all.
Once again, it's Wyatt Tomczyk in for the ailing Kelly Bidlin. All jokes aside, we like to poke fun at Kelly, like, oh, you got the Vegas flu, that kind of thing. Kelly dealing with a 102-degree temperature, the sweats, just out of it.
Yeah, I feel we were trying to text him yesterday, and he didn't get back till about 10 o'clock. So you know that was a little bit feeling down in the dumps a little bit.
We over a little, buddy feels better. Yeah. I know what he's doing. He's losing weight on turbo. That's what it's all about. So he's trying to.
I don't think he wanted to lose it that way.
No, I don't think so either. Mark Borchardt on baseball coming up later this hour. Drew Dinsick in the house after a week off, after he did the honeydew thing before the football season started, where he was like, where can I take my wife so that I get 20 weeks of football unfettered, or at least through January anyway, unfettered. Drew Dinsick will join us to talk football, week one past, week two ahead. Maybe he has some tennis plays, I'm not sure. Jeff Erickson, senior editor at RotoWire, founder of RotoWire, to talk some fantasy implications with us, and also his thoughts on the National Football League, some bets that he has prop-wise this week. Todd Wright, the greatest voice in sports radio of all time, to join us with his division futures in the NFL. Tyler Shoemaker a little later on. It is loaded. It's packed. And we'll talk Survivor as well. Adjustments in markets based on week one results. Overreactions in markets to awards and that kind of thing. We'll do it all.
I love the overreactions on week one. Speaking of overreactions, I know we're going to get into it, but that Bears-Vikings game, just watching the tweets come in the first quarter and seeing how they had changed in the fourth quarter was fabulous.
2.5, 3 quarters of J.J. McCarthy slander.
Oh, I loved it.
All quickly erased.
Take that, Todd Wishnev. I'm kidding.
That's
I like
right.
you, Todd.
Well, let's get into it because I have much to say about this game last night. But for those who missed it, the Minnesota Vikings, who looked dead in the water against the Chicago Bears, down 17-9, score, 21 unanswered, not unanswered, but 21 unanswered for a stretch until Chicago had a late touchdown to beat the Chicago Bears 27-24 in a game that didn't look like it was going over. It was going to go close to being over and soars over in the end. Minnesota started with a 3-and-out. Chicago got the ball early in this 10 plays, 61 yards in a drive that took a little less than 6 minutes. On a 3rd and 5 at the Minnesota 30, Caleb flushed out to the right. Perfect dime to Romeo Dunze on the sideline where he tiptoed it. 17-yard pickup. Amazing throw and catch. 3 plays later, Caleb in from 9. It was 7-0 Bears with 7:04 left in the first quarter. And Wyatt, I think everybody's first reaction was, oh, wow, Caleb 6 for 6 on this drive for 51 yards. Maybe this is going to work out with Ben Johnson. Maybe this is a new Caleb here.
That was a perfect 10 out of 10 drive for them. I think that's exactly how they wanted to start the game. You talk about that throw that he had to Romo Dunze. That was so tough. Rolling to his right, just dotting it down the sideline. Odunze with a great catch. I mean, I looked at it, I was like, all right, it looks like the Bears got some confidence here.
6 for 6 on that drive. He would complete his first 10 passes eventually. Couple punts exchanged, and then Minnesota, after a PI from Chicago to start the second quarter that accounted for 42 yards, they settled for a Will Reichard 31-yard field goal, 7-3 Chicago early second quarter. Then Chicago with a 4th and 3 at the Minnesota 24. This is the first Ben Johnson gaffe, in my opinion. 4th and 3 at the Minnesota 24. They're up 7-3. This is second quarter. The Bears eschew. There's their first eschew of the year. The field goal try. After the play clock had rolled too far down, and they were forced to use a timeout, then they go for it anyway. Bad throw by Caleb after 10 completions to start the game. As we said, had DJ Moore wide open in the middle of the field, completely missed him. And that is the Caleb experience in a nutshell, which I'll get to. For every good pass, there is a bad pass. There's more to it than that, but that's the first sort of sign of that. So Ben Johnson, I would say, just take the points at this point. Minnesota looked so absolutely anemic. Exchange Minnesota 3-and-out, Chicago 3-and-out, Minnesota 3-and-out. Then Chicago 4th and 2 at the Minnesota 24. Again, this time with 28 seconds left in the second quarter. This time, Ben Johnson says, yeah, we'll take the points. Cairo Santos, 42-yard field goal. It's 10-3 Chicago with 24 seconds left. And then J.J. McCarthy makes his first good play of the day, his first real pass. With 19 seconds left, you figure Minnesota will just go to the locker room down 7 and feel happy about being just 7. Instead, to Jalen Naylor for 28 yards. Nice pass, and it sets up a Reichert 59-yard field goal, which he sinks. So it's 10-6 Chicago at the half. Second half, after a Chicago 3-and-out, Minnesota 3rd and 8 at the Chicago 32. JJ pick 6. Looking to the left, Nashawn Wright, who was on the practice squad for the Vikings last year with the Bears, now 74 yards to the house. 17-6 Chicago with 12:51 left in the third quarter. Minnesota 3-and-out. Chicago punt. Minnesota 3-and-out. After I wanted to ask people about this because this is neither here nor there on the game, but it was a Minnesota 3-and-out after a first down play where McCarthy went to T.J. Hawkinson for 2 yards. Do you see this play, Wyatt? And it appeared that Noah Sewell cleanly punched the ball out of Hawkinson's hands, resulting in a Bears fumble. He was ruled down. And again, I talked about this with Tirico and Collinsworth on Sunday night. Joe Buck did a lot of this last night, too, where he's like, oh, clearly I don't see anything there. He's clearly down. And as they go into commercial, I'm like, yeah, but if he punches the ball without touching the body, why is he down? And ESPN never really gave a good explanation as to why that was down yesterday.
If I had to think, I think that once you possess the ball, I think the ball is part of the body. If he's on the knee, I could be completely wrong. That would be my interpretation of it. But I think that's something now, Gil. Well, don't be surprised if that gets brought up in the rules committee in the offseason.
Someone's going to have to explain the logic behind that. What you mean? Anyway, Chicago gets the ball back. They're up 17-6. Santos misses a 50-yard field goal wide right. That was the first play of the fourth quarter. So fourth quarter begins. Chicago misses a field goal, 17-6, and this is where the game completely turns. Minnesota short field from their own 40. 6 plays. JJ to JJ from 13 out. After a McCarthy to Jefferson 17-yard completion earlier touchdown, 17-12, 2-point conversion fails, but illegal use of hands on D, so they tried again from the 1, and Jonathan Owens, Mr. Simone Biles, makes a great tackle in the flat on Josh Oliver. So it's 17-12, Chicago, 12-13 left in the fourth quarter. Chicago 3-and-out after 2 negative plays on first and second. Minnesota takes over at midfield this time. 4 plays. McCarthy to Aaron Jones from 27 out. 18-17. The Vikings somehow take the lead. 2-point conversion to Thielen. 20-17 with 9:46 left in the fourth quarter. Then a Chicago punt that's partially blocked by Eric Wilson. Stuck his hand out, got a piece of it. Minnesota starts at their own 32 with 7:24 left. 9 plays. McCarthy himself in from 14. And the Vikings are up 10, 27-17 with 2:53 left. And then Chicago takes over at their own 35-yard line with 2:43 left. Quick drive. Takes 51 seconds. A grand total of 5 plays for 65 yards. To Kmet to begin the drive for 31. And then Caleb follows it up by missing a wide-open DJ Moore downfield. Again, perfect illustration of the Caleb Williams experience. Incomplete, then consecutive Minnesota penalties on defense. Caleb for 13 to the doorstep, then to a Dunze from 1 out touchdown. 27-24, Vikings with 2:02 left. So north of the 2-minute warning, the Bears have 1 timeout left. So you gotta by the way, just side note, me and Wishnev and Fezzik then had a 3-hour-long argument after the game as to whether or not it is proper to go from 4 to 2 in that situation, right? Because Fezzik's like, oh, Ben Johnson doesn't know to go from 4 to 2, which I, by the way, disagree with. I'm a 14 to 8 to 6 guy, but I am not a 10 to 4 to 2 guy. Well, that's a whole nother sidebar. Anyway, he kicks the extra point. Point is, 2:02 left. Bears have 1 timeout and the 2-minute warning. Ben Johnson gaff. You kick the ball out of the you attempt an onside kick here because you absolutely want to have that opportunity. Instead, they kick it to Ty Chandler in the end zone, who then conversely, Kevin O'Connell properly telling him, come out of the end zone, bleed the clock south of the 2-minute warning, which is exactly what he did. So bad on the Bears, good on the Vikings. What ends up happening is the Bears end up getting the ball back with mere seconds left, 9 seconds left in the game from their own 20. Pitchy woo-woo fails, and the Vikings win it 27-24. I have to say it, Caleb 21 for 35 for 210 in defeat. 1 touchdown, no picks, 6 carries for 58 yards and a touchdown. J.J. McCarthy ends up 13 of 20 for 143, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. He was sacked 3 times. McCarthy became the first starting quarterback to record a comeback of 10 points or greater in his first NFL start since Steve Young did so in 1985. He's also the first since 1950 to do that on the road. So there you go, a little history from J.J. McCarthy. For me, there were so many takeaways, perhaps the biggest of which is the Caleb factor, because I think the Vikings obviously have a lot to be thrilled about how J.J. McCarthy ended that game. Brian Flores, to me, is still playing chess on defense.
He needs to be a head coach.
He needs to be a head coach stat.
Yep.
Because he never overreacted early. He didn't blitz early, right? He waited to pounce later. But for me, the Caleb experience is, I just, again, and I try not, Bears fans hate me for this, but I'm sorry about, obviously the Merrill Hodge thing. He's nothing special. But Caleb Williams makes some great plays, and then he follows them up with wildly inaccurate passes. But the bigger thing about Caleb Williams, and Troy Aikman tried saying this gently on the broadcast a couple ways yesterday, was pre-snap stuff. He does not appear to see the field in a way that is required cerebrally by a quarterback. Tom Brady, when he was first taking the job at Fox as an analyst, said that the biggest pet peeve he had about analysts on NFL games, and this is where mere mortals like ourselves who are not in an NFL locker room or not quarterbacks in the NFL, we don't see these things. But Tom Brady's thing was, a lot of quarterbacks get praised by analysts because they end up making this unbelievable throw in a tight spot or something like that. And his point is, no, it was a terrible thing that they ended up in that situation because they don't see pre-snap what the defense is doing. They don't adjust properly, therefore, on offense before the ball is even snapped. And this is the Caleb Williams problem. He does not appear to see any of that. And you can tell that when you contrast it with other quarterbacks, yes, like a Jaden Daniels who was drafted the pick right after him. That is the biggest takeaway for a bettor for me is Caleb Williams is everything that we think he is at this point. And that confirmed it to me last night. We'll come back baseball with Mark Borchert next.
If you're serious about football betting, VSiN's got your weekend game plan. Fridays at 7 p.m., it's the Circa Friday Football Invitational. Saturday morning, VSiN's college football tailgate show at 9 a.m., breaking down matchups, props, and big-time bets. Later that night, join the football contest show as the sharpest betting minds give you their picks for Sunday's game. And Sunday at 9 a.m., lock in with Mitch and Pauly on VSiN's Pro Football Tailgate Show. Your final stop before kickoff. Check out the full lineup at VSiN.com and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
So, Pauly, have you had a chance to read the VSiN Daily yet?
Yeah, came in at 3 a.m. What's Bill doing up that late?
Well, rumor has it starts off with a 12-hour meditation session.
Then he just pours himself over film and live TV, really focusing and taking it all in. Bill's in with the biggest insiders, talking trade secrets, strategies, the whole nine, absorbing the info.
And then and only then can the writing process begin.
In Las Vegas, Bill's late night becomes your early morning. Wake up to the very latest betting insights in your inbox with the VSiN Daily. Sign up for free at vsin.com/newsletter.
And we're out. Okay, give me 1 sec. I need to load funds into my gaming apps.
Stormy, really? With a credit card?
Well, with my credit card from GBank, they don't treat gaming transactions as cash advances. Plus, you get 1% cash back rewards every time that you load your gaming apps with funds.
What else can that card do?
Dave, I'm busy, but I will let the voiceover tell you more about the bennies of the GBank Visa Signature Card. Take it away.
GBank, the official bank of VSiN, has the credit card designed for gaming and sports fans everywhere. With the GBank Signature Visa Card, you'll earn 1% cashback rewards on gaming and sports app loads, and 2% cashback rewards on all eligible purchases. Plus, GBank doesn't treat loads to gaming apps as cash advances, keeping more of your money in play. Visit vsin.com/GBank to apply. Terms and conditions apply, subject to credit approval.
Coming up on the next edition of Follow the Money, Paul Stone will join the program with his Week 3 college football best bets. Derek Stevens to recap contest numbers in a wild Week 1 and a good MLB card as well. Follow the Money 4 to 7 Eastern on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, now Sirius XM Channel 158. Check out the website for all the betting tools and analysis, or go get the VSiN Watch app.
VSiN, the sports betting.
The NFL season is officially underway, and the edge goes to those with the best data. VSiN Pro delivers real-time DraftKings and Circa betting splits so you can see where the public and sharps are putting their money. Add in an email recapping all the daily best bets from our show hosted guests. 24/7 video on the VSiN Watch app and exclusive pro tools at VSiN.com. And you got everything you need to stay ahead all season. Sign up now for just $9.99 or save 50% with an annual subscription. Visit VSiN.com/subscribe today. That's VSIN.com/subscribe. It's Gil Alexander. We get tweets at Beating the Book. Always appreciated from y'all. This is from, let me begin with Tenelach, Joe Bren. I had no idea about the Falcons fans singing victory song minutes out. What's worse, the thousands that walked out of the Bills Stadium, game down 15. Yeah, Josh Allen, let him hear about that as well. He says, great to digest the game with you on guessing lines. Brilliant summary, Gil. Thank you. Guessing lines, because guessing lines doesn't appeal to everybody, by the way, but it sure does in podcast form, outpacing the first Megabot already this year on the Beating the Book feed. Wow. Brian Heap, I'm sure you'll be all over this as usual, but props to KOC, yes, for the next level coaching move to direct his return guy to run it out, even that deep in the end zone to burn this 2-minute warning. At least 28 out of 32 coaches missed that. That's winning football. Yes, I did mention that last segment. Tronsky, yo, Gil, another chance to rail on reffing. The player down with a knee secured the ball, but first contact with the defender is punching the ball. Who was that player called down? Replay occurred over commercial, and we got zero explanation. That was a fumble. I mentioned that last segment as well, Tronsky. Again, that was TJ Hawkinson who caught the ball, and it was punched out by Noah Sewell. And again, the explanation, Joe Buck is like, I see nothing, and then there was no proper explanation. Even the referee official said, oh, yeah, no proper explanation on that as well. I'm with you. This is from Fred Courier. We need a wellness check on Kelly. Yeah, Kelly's ailing. He's not doing too well. We wish him a speedy recovery. But I know he was out of it this weekend. He barely watched any football, and that's how you know. Wet Willie Colon. Did you touch on Carlitos' complete domination yesterday? You're talking about Sunday, he means. I may have missed it. Oh, did I talk about it yesterday? I did not, and I went home thinking, how did I not even mention it? But for those who missed it, Carlos Alcaraz beats Jannik Sinner in the U.S. Open men's final on Sunday in 4 sets. We were all watching football. I didn't watch 1 point of that tennis match because of football. But just to give you the historical context, we'll talk about this with Drew a little bit later on. Carlos and Sinner have now won the 8 Grand Slams of the last 2 seasons, 4 apiece. Before that, the previous 79 Grand Slams, 65 of them were won by the big 3, Djokovic, Nadal, and Federer. So tennis has now transitioned from the big 3 to the big 2 in a very dramatic way. Congratulations to everybody who had Carlitos at the U.S. Open. Ayala Vinal. We have seen enough. 18 games, next 5 years. Build around who? Caleb or McCarthy? Yeah, I got more to say about Caleb in that. Vegas Vice, you correctly identified the Bears making error on the final kickoff, but if Santos could not kick it out of the end zone, he should have angled it so it would go out of bounds either near the goal line. That way the ball would be put on either the 35 or 40, but no time would be used. Correct, Vegas Vice. You're absolutely correct. The next best option besides the onside kick would have been that. Agree completely. Jack Olaquire is a lifelong Bears fan. I wasn't thrilled when they drafted Williams, and now it's looking like Merrill Hodge was 100% on the money. Gonna be a long season. The only good news was my 6-point teaser hit. And single strap, one more. I thought Aikman was perfect with his breakdown and did it in a way that didn't crap on the kid, but he's absolutely right. He has no field vision unless he's out of the pocket and scrambling. Can't hit a wide receiver on time from the pocket. I thought the same thing about Troy Aikman. I thought he was really dignified about how he tried to do that. He didn't crap on Caleb. I agree completely. He did it in a very kind, sort of constructive way. I thought that was good. Let me just say this one thing before we get to Mark Borchardt here and talk baseball. I don't want to put it all on Caleb because it does fall on the head coach as well, right? You have to be able to, for me, if you're hiring an NFL head coach, you have to be able to hire and identify someone who is able to make adjustments. That, to me, is the biggest single quality of what determines or what separates a great coach from a good coach. And that's a massive separator, right? There's a lot of good coaches, Marty Schottenheimer, Chuck Knox in the past in NFL history, that get so far but can't get to a Super Bowl, let alone win one. They believe their way of playing football is the only way. Any coach that is so myopic in their vision of how football is supposed to play, but then doesn't make adjustments based on personnel, that falls on that coach, right? That's not on the guy. That's not on the quarterback to some degree also. Part of it's Caleb for sure, maybe even most of it. But part of it's the coaching staff to be able to say, okay, this is what this guy's good at. We should tailor what we do to the personnel we have. And yes, I'll say it right here because I know people are expecting it. The greatest of all time to do that, the great Joe Jackson Gibbs back in the day. Didn't matter if he did a one-back offense with Riggins. Didn't matter if he had the 3 great wide receivers on offense. Whatever the defense was doing, he would throw out his game plan in the first half if it didn't work, though the game plan that he worked on all week long, because he was able to see the X's and O's well. And we'll see if the Bears' new coach Ben Johnson can do that. Let's talk some baseball. Mark Borchard joins us now from an undisclosed location somewhere in the desert. You can follow him at BaseWinner, basewinner.com, and he's got his Bet US baseball show on a daily basis. Comes to us courtesy of Progressive Guest Line. How you doing, man?
Gil, I'm doing good. You know, I'm looking at this Yankees thing, and I can't believe some of the lines. I think the Yankees are super valuable. You can play them in a lot of different markets. It's pretty crazy.
Well, let's talk.
I hope maybe other people think the same thing because the numbers are strong on those guys.
Well, you've been all over this. So the whole run-up, the last month or so, right, as bad as the Yankees were playing, Judge was out of the lineup for a while. You know, and we were saying we were going division by division. We're like, okay, if there's any value, if the 12 teams that are currently on the inside looking out, who's the team on the outside looking in that could, in terms of a division now, so it's a different topic, but maybe we'll get to that as well. But in terms of the divisions, which of the, of the 6 division leaders is the most vulnerable? And you were steadfast about the Yankees. And look up at the standings right now. They're down 2 games. So explain all the different markets that you would play them in right now.
Well, Well, first of all, I can't believe they're plus 220 in the division market. Okay, and then they're in number 1 seed. So just kind of a background, if you guys don't know what I do, is I run the simulations based on the component ratings for each team. And so the Yankees number 1 in baseball for me, but it also takes into account the difficulty of the schedule, or in the Yankees case, the lack of difficulty in their schedule. So to win the division, I've got the Yankees 62% of the time, and they're priced at plus 220. And I said, well, maybe there's something wrong about these ratings. But then I go to Base Winner expected standings, and this is kind of a fun page that I do. It's what their record should be. It's real quick and dirty based on weighted runs created plus, xFIP minus, and defensive runs saved. Well, the Yankees number 1 in baseball throughout the season on their body of work, 87.2 wins, and they only have 80 wins in the standings. They're actually just ahead of the Dodgers. The Dodgers are the second best team based on that, 85 wins. So I think and you look at these components, you look at the bullpen, and I was comparing this. Maybe we could talk about this next segment when we talk about the Detroit, because they play each other, Detroit and the Yankees. The difference in the bullpen. I can go line by line, but their bullpen's really good. Of course, the offense is the best in baseball by my numbers, and the starting pitching very formidable. So all that thrown in there, you've got 2 really good plays on a Yankees division. You got a Yankees number 1 seed. I think those are really good plays, Gil.
So Yankees division and Yankees number 1 seed you threw in there as well. Interesting.
Yeah, I've got the seed percentages at like 51% to win. They're plus 400. That might be a better bet.
Plus 400 to win, to get the number 1 seed. What are they in the market at? We'll check on that. Is that the market price currently, or that's what you have?
That's what they were. Yeah,
that's what they were.
That's why I'm so. I mean, I'm sounding like really excited because I am, and I'm like, I don't.
Well, let's extend this.
I'm trying to look at a flaw in the method, right?
No, I love this because plus 220 to win the division, 4-1 to be the number 1 seed. By the way, the Yankees have the 5th easiest remaining schedule in all of baseball. 5th easiest remaining schedule. If you ask where are the Blue Jays on that, the Blue Jays have the 12th hardest. .509 aggregate win percentage against, whereas the Yankees is .478 aggregate win percentage against. The only really tough teams the Yankees still play are the Tigers and the Red Sox remaining. Would you extend it further, Mark? Would you extend it into the playoffs? Do they, in your opinion, do they have the construction of a team that can win the AL or the World Series?
Well, World Series might be, I think that, running all that stuff, they are priced about where they need to be. Like, I think they were plus 700 in the market. I've got them at plus 747. I actually have Seattle at plus 694. So I like Seattle's team too. They're right there with the Yankees from an offensive standpoint. And the pitching goes into that as well. So, and there's a couple starters like, the guy that pitched yesterday, Ric Flair, Brian Wu, and yeah, him and of course Gilbert are good too. So, and I think that the Dodgers are really, they're overpriced still, as bad as they've been. And maybe they're not as overpriced as they have been, but I got them to win the World Series plus 562. So I think the World Series market is a little bit different, which is interesting on the Sims. I would say I would go with Seattle to do that.
Okay. So Yankees to win.
They're 14-1, so that makes the main difference. Gil.
Yankees to win division plus 220, number 1 seed 4-1. But in terms of World Series, the Mariners the best value according to Mark at 14-1. We'll get his picks from today and more next with Mark.
There's no better time to join VSiN Pro. Right now, get started for just $9.99 for your first 30 days or save 50% off with an annual subscription. As a Pro user, you'll get our newly updated NFL betting guide, as well as the college football betting guide, the ultimate playbook packed with expert picks, team previews, and best bets. Plus, you'll unlock exclusive features like real-time betting splits, daily best bets, and full access to the VSiN Watch app. Don't miss out. Head to VSiN.com/subscribe and join us on the Sports Betting Network. Get your edge this season with VSiN's College Football Betting Guide, exclusive to VSiN Pro subscribers. It's packed with 136 team previews, preseason top 25 rankings, and best bets from our experts. Pro subscribers also get the NFL Betting Guide, daily best bet emails, exclusive splits, and full access to our premium betting tools. Sign up now at VSiN.com/subscribe for just $9.99 for your first 30 days. Or save 50% with an annual Pro subscription and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
Coming up on the next edition of Follow the Money, Paul Stone will join the program with his Week 3 college football best bets. Derek Stevens to recap contest numbers in a wild Week 1 and a good MLB card as well. Follow the Money 4 to 7 Eastern on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, now Sirius XM Channel 158. Check out the website for all the betting tools and analysis, or go get the VSiN Watch app.
Sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup, then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to VSiN.com/pro to join VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Join the guru, John Hansen, at the intersection of prop betting and fantasy sports on Prop Points, only on VSiN.
And shout out to Elijah Moore as well. Oftentimes he's Elijah less. Keep in mind, Sean Payton is evil for fantasy football.
John and his guests will help you find the connection between the two and give you his expert advice on how to capitalize when a number is too good to pass up. Prop Points, weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Check out Stormy and JBT on Money Moves, only on VSiN.
And maybe that's why they wouldn't, because they're the Giants and they don't do things that make sense.
Out of all these divisions, this is the one that I am the most curious about, because I do think there are positive signs for the Bears.
They'll take you on a fun, fast-paced journey, weaving in everything you need to know to make an educated bet, while also not shying away from the excitement of a same-game parlay sweat. Money Moves, weekdays at 2 p.m. Eastern on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Your bets don't stop after lunch, and neither does VSiN. At 2 p.m. Eastern, join Stormy and JBT as Money Move sets the table for the rest of the day's action. Then it's Follow the Money at 4 with reactions and sharp insights from Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard. At 7, VSiN Primetime delivers live updates, betting analysis, and big game coverage. And when the lights are low, Cashing Out wraps up the night with highlights, recaps, and the bets that hit. Check out the full lineup on VSiN.com and join us on the Sports Betting Network. Get your edge this season with VSiN's College Football Betting Guide, exclusive to VSiN Pro subscribers. It's packed with 136 team previews, preseason top 25 rankings, and best bets from our experts. Pro subscribers also get the NFL Betting Guide, daily best bet emails, exclusive splits, and full access to our premium betting tools. Sign up now at VSiN.com/subscribe for just $9.99 for your first 30 days. Or save 50% with an annual Pro subscription and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
A numbers game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Make your Tuesday bets count at Brocco. Use code VSiN, and every deposit comes with a 50% welcome bonus up to $100, plus cashback-style monthly rewards, no matter if you win or lose. Stack that with global contests and free-to-play games, and you're always in action with real prizes and bragging rights. Join today and experience promotions that keep paying you back at playbrocco.com. That's spelled B-R-A-C-C-O. Playbrocco.com. Gil Alexander, we get tweets beating the book. Best listeners in the game. Y'all, seriously. Most intelligent, most witty listeners a guy could ever want. John A. Cornell Jr. Brian Flores failed as a head coach in Miami, he says. And Johnson, rather than onside kick, could have given the ball to Minnesota at the 40 or kicked it out of bounds and given the ball at the 35, thus saving the 2-minute warning clock was at 2:02. Yes, John, we covered the onside kick. I would say onside kick was the first option because you got to try to get the ball back at that point. But yes, the second one would have been not to kick it to an actual player. Don't run any time off the clock, for sure. As far as Brian Flores, you said he failed as a head coach in Miami. As memory serves, he went 5-11, 10-7, and 9-8. Is that really failing? I know there was off the field stuff which are unlikely to repeat, but those last two seasons ain't bad. You know what I mean? Brandon Webb, sounds like a solid workman's comp case for Kelly Bidlin. Forced to breathe paint fumes for several days and then fall sick. Oh, I forgot about the paint fumes thing. You might be right. Might be onto something. Bruce Dobigan, Eschew, Gesundheit. Yes, I use the word eschew. Brian Schaefer, 31. Hey, Gil, I wanted to send some soup to Kelly Bidlin from your favorite sushi place. What's the name of it? I see what you're doing. And then Jonathan Doe, the Manning cast is a must-see for Monday Night Football if you want to change up from the conventional broadcast. I laughed out loud many times as usual. The stories, videos, whiteboard, guests, Saquon, Randy Moss, etc. was awesome. Yes, you are absolutely right. We've talked about the Manning cast before. It is great. I forgot completely to watch it last night, though, I must admit. Let's talk more baseball. Mark Borchard joins us once again at BaseWinner, basewinner.com, courtesy of the Progressive Guest Line. Mark, where can, if folks want to listen to your BetUS daily baseball show, what's the easiest way to access?
Just go to YouTube and search for BetUS Baseball Show, and you'll get there.
Are you solo? You doing it with other people? How do you roll with that?
Yeah, no, oh no, the host, he's not as good as you, but he's a really good host. His name's Kyle Purveyance, and he does a pretty good job. And then the other two analysts got Corby Craig and Kenny McAndrews. So it's good. We all have different styles of handicapping. So, I'm really analytical and model driven, and the other guys use a little bit of that, but it's good because we don't have the same plays. We're not. There's some controversy on a daily basis, which is always good, I think, for a listen.
I like a little controversy. All right, what did you end up with today? You already gave us a taste that you're on the Yankees against the Tigers.
Yeah, a show would not be complete, Gil, on your show without giving a base winner parlay.
Yes.
And so the base winner parlay today is the Yankees and the Mariners, the two teams that I just talked about in the earlier segment. And you just play in full game, nothing fancy. And when it hits, it's going to pay plus 148. But the thing that I wanted to kind of bring out about, and this comes in the simulations with Detroit and the Yankees kind of leapfrogging Detroit for that number one seed, is the lack of bullpen anything really depth. I guess they have one guy in the bullpen for Detroit. So anyway, is ranked 25th by my rankings, and the Yankees are ranked number 2. And I just kind of going down, and I'll spare like everybody's rating, but if you look at the collection of bodies in that Detroit bullpen, the only guys their closer that's better than average based on last 150 plate appearances strikeout percentage, last 300 plate appearances walk percentage, and last 150 plate appearances ground ball percentage. So really, I think numbers that stabilize and are reflective of the talent in that bullpen. Anyway, Vest is 24% better than average, but you look down the rest of them, Montero, Melton, Holton, Conley, Hannafy, Horn. They actually have another Montero. There are 2 Monteros in the same bullpen. Who would have thought? They're all below average pitchers. Then you look at this Yankees bullpen, and they go Bednar, Weaver, Cruz, Williams. Those guys are all, not only are they better than average, there's 3 of those guys, Bednar, Weaver, and Cruz, that are 30% or better than average. From those using those metrics numbers, and then they have Leiter and Yarbrough who are better than average. So you have this really deep bullpen against a Detroit bullpen that's really concerning if you're a Detroit fan. But anyway, it all kinds of comes out into the mixer today. The model's really not showing that much value on it. I have it right about where it is, but I really like that playing the good bullpens late in the season, and of course the Yankees #1 offense in baseball, Gil.
So Yankees against the Tigers. The Mariners are hosting the Cardinals, so it's a Mariners-Yankees parlay. And again, I can hear Steve Fezzik saying, Mark Borchard, such an intelligent guy, this base winner. And then he comes on your show and he always gives a parlay. But that's his play, Yankees Mariners, let me get that right. Yankees Mariners, which would pay around plus 148. Always shop around for the best prices on each. Before you move on to another pick, I just want to say this about the bullpens, because I think I had this conversation with Sporer earlier and not with you. First of all, I completely agree about the Yankees bullpen. When I was sort of ranking the bullpens of the 12 teams that are currently in the playoff position in both leagues, I said I think I have the Yankees as one of the top bullpens in baseball, and I took a little incoming, and my point was people tend to get colored by the Devin Williams blow-ups, but it really is a bullpen with a lot of depth. If you had to, because I think bullpens might be the biggest handicapping category for the postseason, the way that you structure, the way that you can actually throw a starter into the bullpen. But let's just take bullpens in a vacuum right now. What are your rankings with the bullpens, and which of the current playoff teams, if the playoffs were to start today, are the worst of the bunch?
Well, the Tigers are the worst. So Yankees are 2. The best bullpen, I don't think they're going to get there. I think it's just too late in the season for them. Are the Tampa Bay Rays, and then the third bullpen is Boston. I think they'll get there, so that might help them out. And then the Mets are #4, Gil. But the worst bullpens of teams going into the playoffs, and that's decidedly the Tigers. And I'm just kind of looking down because I'm looking at the card right now. The Brewers aren't that great either. They're not awful, but they're 16th in baseball. And so I think, the Brewers, I bet against them so many times, and the back end of that wouldn't give up a run, and I would double, triple check my numbers. They weren't bad, on the advanced metrics, but they weren't elite. So I think that might come home to roost in a bad way for Milwaukee, Gil.
No, that's all interesting, because I would have both the New York teams up there as well. Where do the Mariners rank in that group? Where do you have the Mariners bullpen? Because people are sort of at odds about them.
Yeah, they're top 15. I think that they're better than my rating. There might be a guy that's injured that's kind of like I'm looking at the current rating, but I don't know. I mean, Munoz, he was tipping his pitches against the Yankees, so that's a whole different conversation. If we talk about 15 minutes on the Yankees, I didn't even put that in the model, Gil. How they can pick up pitches, how they can tip pitches the best in Major League Baseball, right?
Don't look now. I love that phrase, Mark. Don't look now. With the San Francisco Giants, who basically traded him all away right at the trade deadline. Yaz to the Royals. Are we allowed to call Mike Yastrzemski Yaz, by the way? To the Royals. Obviously, Tyler Rogers to the Mets. Doval to the Yankees. Late night Lamont before that to the Angels. They're 3 out, but they still have 7 left against the Dodgers in their remaining games. Can this possibly happen? And if they did, where does their bullpen rank in all this?
They're top 15, but the problem, they're not a bad team, Gil. So they're 12th in baseball. If you take the offensive ratings minus the defensive ratings, the plus minus on that. And I mean, it's kind of would give it a little bit of intrigue. There's really not much intrigue in this postseason picture, but I ran everything, and I think they're priced about right. I got them 8.6% chance to make the playoffs, which is they've got the best potential of all those teams. The Reds are 3.1%, but I think that these things are locked in. I mean, but you know what? You really, as good as I am, I cannot quantify that Giants magic.
That's
something about the garlic fries and the marijuana in the stands really kind of puts the other team to sleep.
Oh, I see you've been then. Yes. No.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
8.6%. So you're saying there's a chance. Yes. And you're always low on the magic that you put into your model. I've scolded you on this for many years. Last thing, do you have a straight bet today that people can latch onto besides the parlay?
Let's give something for the masses here. I'm gonna go. I'll give you two. I like the Mets at plus 132, and Manaea still rates high. And when we talked about that bullpen, they're better than the Phillies bullpen. And the Phillies, missing Turner is a big deal in that lineup. So you got that going. And then this Cade Horton versus Spencer Strider, I think the Cubs are value here. I've got a price at like minus 130-ish. They're pick them in the market. So the Cubs and the Mets, Gil. Those are good
Cubs
plays.
and Mets, two teams again on the inside looking out of the National League playoff picture right now as we head into the final few weeks. A little less than 20 games for everybody. 18, 19 games about there remaining for everybody else. By the way, last thing in 5 seconds. Spencer Strider never going to be a thing again?
He's got to switch from being a vegetarian to eating meat, and then he might have a chance.
There it is. That's the kind of analysis you like on the Bet US baseball show that Mark does. At BaseWinner, BaseWinner.com. Thank you, Mark. Always a pleasure, man.
Thanks, Gil. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
My man. Coming back, football overreactions from week one in some markets next on A Numbers Game at VSiN.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons. It's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim is the only thing like it in the world.
Get your edge this season with VSiN's College Football Betting Guide, exclusive to VSiN Pro subscribers. It's packed with 136 team previews, preseason top 25 rankings, and best bets from our experts. Pro subscribers also get the NFL Betting Guide, daily best bet emails, exclusive splits, and full access to our premium betting tools. Sign up now at VSiN.com/subscribe for just $9.99 for your first 30 days. Or save 50% with an annual Pro subscription. And join us on the Sports Betting Network. Before you make your next MLB bet, don't forget to check out VSiN's free baseball betting tools. Start with our strikeout prop projections and uncover mismatches between expected performance and market odds. No spreadsheet required. Then dig into the Park Factors tool. Built on over 1 million batted balls, it shows you how today's weather and stadium conditions impact scoring. And don't miss the Yerfie predictor, turning everyone's favorite first inning sweat into a data-driven advantage. Go to VSiN.com/MLB and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
Elevate your sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup. Then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to VSiN.com/pro to join VSiN, the sports betting network.
Your favorite VSiN shows and personalities are now available to download as podcasts. Catch every hour of our live broadcast with VSiN Best Bets, or find your go-to show and download it directly. Get instant reactions to last night's games, sharp analysis on today's biggest matchups, and everything in between. Whether you're commuting, working out, or just catching up, VSiN lets you take the action with you wherever and whenever you want. Search VSiN on your favorite podcast platform and get in on the action with VSiN, the sports betting network. The sharpest way to start your day is waking up with VSiN. Weekday mornings kick off with Dave Ross and Jensen Lewis on VSiN by the Books at 7 a.m. Eastern. Then it's 3 full hours of a numbers game starting at 10 a.m. More insight, more angles, more Gil Alexander. And at 1 p.m., Prop Points delivers the fantasy and prop betting breakdowns you need, like only the guru John Hansen knows how. Check out the full lineup on VSiN.com and join us on the Sports Betting Network. Join the guru, John Hansen, at the intersection of prop betting and fantasy sports on Prop Points, only on VSiN.
And shout out to Elijah Moore as well. Oftentimes he's Elijah less. Keep in mind, Sean Payton is evil for fantasy football.
John and his guests will help you find the connection between the two and give you his expert advice on how to capitalize when a number is too good to pass up. Prop Points, weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. If you're serious about football betting, VSiN's got your weekend game plan. Fridays at 7 p.m., it's the Circa Friday Football Invitational. Saturday morning, VSiN's College Football Tailgate Show at 9 a.m., breaking down matchups, props, and big-time bets. Later that night, join the Football Contest Show as the sharpest betting minds give you their picks for Sunday's game. And Sunday at 9 a.m., lock in with Mitch and Pauly on VSiN's Pro Football Tailgate Show. Your final stop before kickoff. Check out the full lineup at VSiN.com and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
A numbers game on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
The season may have started, but you can still jump into the VSiN Average Joe contest, sponsored by Edge Boost. Each week you make 7 picks, NFL or college, and the best score of the week wins $500. Have an Edge Boost account already? Then it's $1,000 every week. And if that's not enough, there are quarterly prizes too, airfare to Las Vegas, and a free 2-night stay at Circa Resort, and your chance to be on a VSiN show. Say what now? A VSiN show. Free to play. You can enter anytime at VSiN.com/Joe. We get tweets at Beating the Book. Wyatt, by the way, Wyatt is tripping off Mark Borchardt saying that it smells like weed in San Francisco at the ballpark. Josh Hamilton in the 2010 World Series for the Rangers, playing right field, complained about that. He said, this whole place smells of weed. And everybody in San Francisco was like, yeah.
Yeah, this is a regular Tuesday for us.
Well, because you have to remember in 2010, it wasn't yet a common thing, and it wasn't legalized in so many states. But in California, especially in the Bay, we're just like, it's kind of a way of life.
I just love every time Mark's on, he gives a great one-liner. You need to create just a record book of what he has.
You mean like this one right here?
Oh, you got Darnell. Come on.
No, I don't have
I don't think Darnell's
We
ready.
don't have it ready to go?
No.
You mean like this one right here?
Got my mind on my money and my money on my mind.
There it is. That's Mark Borchardt, everybody.
The rap is the better one.
Baseball.
About Sonny Gray.
Oh, we don't want to hear that one, do we? No.
Ryan Hunter loves it. He uses it for his audio check in the afternoons every day.
We get tweets at Beating the Book. Charles in Connecticut. When huge tennis fans don't watch the men's final because opening day of the NFL, it's a huge problem for the sport. How many others like yourself move to Sunday night? At least people may change the channel during Sunday Night Football commercial half the time. And if the match is good, maybe stay for a few minutes. Yeah, Charles, you're right. I mean, look, there's no bigger tennis fan than I am. But that's always been the tradition, right? A tradition unlike any other, that the U.S. Open men's final is always smack dab in the middle of week 1 Sunday of the NFL for as long as I can remember. That's always how it's been. You're probably right. Listen, maybe it's because I do a show the next day and I want to know all the details for guessing lines of everything that I didn't watch it. Otherwise, I would have. But yeah, football's football, man. As much as I love tennis, football's football.
That's the same thing with me for NASCAR. I love NASCAR. I love to bet it and whatnot. But once the NFL season comes on, it's like I got to remember to put it on. If I don't put it on a laptop, I'm not going to be able to watch.
Football, and I hate to sound corny, but football. I'll say this again. The first time I ever laid eyes on football, I could think of nothing else. Mm-hmm. I'm 6 years old. So that's not.
I think also the thing is we only have 17 weeks of it. Like you only get a certain amount.
That's right. 17 games. By the way, speaking of that, I shortchanged Brian Flores when I was going through his records. I said 5-11, 10-7, 9-8. It's actually 5-11, 10-6, and 9-8 in a 16-game schedule there in year 2. Real Knicks. Before you totally get off baseball, Real Knicks. You're right. Says before you totally get off baseball, my Cleveland Guardians, or as he calls them, my Clevelands, because he refuses to say Guardians, are 73-70 and play 16 of their final 19 inside the division where they thrived this year. I can easily see a path to at least 500. Sorry, brother, they're not going away. Dude, every night I have this reminder. I look up at the Guardian score and I'm like, how is this minus run differential outfit flirting with their season win total of 82.5? Go away, Guardians. Lose some ball games. Come on. And by the way, their opponents. Come on, Royals. Show up tonight. Dan Groeschel. My biggest overreaction to week 1. I worry about my 4-1 ticket on the Saints to win the fewest games, which is more impressive. A team successfully having an intentionally bad year, for example, the Saints, or a team accidentally having a terrible year, for example, the Dolphins. Well, I think you know the answer. It's the latter. Phil Blundell. The period where they had the U.S. Open final at 3 Eastern on the Monday before Monday Night Football was the best. Just move it back then. Okay, so a little adjustment in time, you're saying. All right, Wyatt, I'm going in blind to this segment. This is sort of overreactions, or not, I shouldn't say overreactions, but just some markets now after week 1 in the NFL. And you and I are both seeing this for the same time, or at least I am. I don't know if you're seeing them for the
I took a look yesterday.
Oh, okay. This is for the AFC number 1 seed. So obviously the Bills with that amazing comeback win over the Ravens, 41-40. So if it does end up in a tiebreaker at the end of the season, the Bills on the head-to-head would get the number 1 seed. And remember, the number 1 seed in this current NFL format, so important because you get the bye. Remember, it used to be the 1 and 2s. Now it's just the 1s now here for several years. The Bills are even money, and the Ravens are plus 475. Now, a lot of folks are going to look at that and say, wow, that's a massive adjustment based on the win. But think about it. They get the tiebreaker in the event that happens, and the Bills' schedule is as easy as it gets, and the Ravens game is in the rear view. So even money on the Bills to be the number 1 seed. Wow, the Ravens all the way to plus 475. For full edification here, Chargers 7-1, Broncos plus 850, and the Chiefs at 0-1 are 9-1. Would you bet the Ravens there at plus 475? 1 game into the season, knowing that they wouldn't have a head-to-head tiebreaker against the Bills?
No,
and that the Bills have this easy schedule?
I think, the schedule part for the Bills is going to throw me off here for the Ravens. I just don't know.
It's going to tempt a lot of people. I'm not saying I'm not tempted, even knowing all that, because it's 1 game.
You know, I'm kind of tempted by it. Yeah, I know. Obviously, we're overreaction to week 1. The Chargers at plus 700. You look at their next handful of games here, and really a lot of their schedule. It sets up pretty nicely. Remember, they finished. Did they finish 2nd or 3rd? I believe they finished 3rd in the AFC West last year. So obviously that helps out with the scheduling. But I liked what I saw with them. Herbert, the defense, an impressive win against Kansas City. I mean, their next 3 games are against the Raiders. The Broncos did not look very good. They play the Giants. The Commanders game will be tough. Then you got the Dolphins and the Colts. I'm just
going to stop you and just say I can't do the Chargers as a number 1 seed.
Okay.
I can't. Listen, and it's one of those where if it happens, I'm happy to let it get away from me. Because of all the bets I could make, I'm not sure that's one I would.
That was the only one that I could look at and be like, that might be tempting with the number.
I think you might. I mean, I think you're probably right that it does tempt some, but that's interesting. Plus 475 on the Ravens. What's next here, Danny? Do we have the equivalent for the NFC number 1 seed? I'll just follow your lead. Here's the NFC number 1 seed. The Packers and Eagles are co-short shots for the number 1 seed after just 1 week of the NFL season.
I love it. Put all the money on Green Bay.
Packers and Eagles, Wyatt is a Packers fan, are both plus 390. The Niners, and we'll get to the Niners here when we do Survivor because they have a Brock Purdy injury problem now, heading in perhaps to week 2. Niners are plus 450, but remember the Niners, if there's a schedule even easier than that of the Bills, it is that of the Niners. So the Niners are plus 450 based on schedule more than anything. Bucks 6-1, Washington Commodores 7-1, the Rams plus 750, rounding out the single digits teams. I do not believe there to be a bet there, except for the Packers and Eagles. And the Niners, I want to with the easy schedule, but look, they have this injury history problem here in recent history, and it is already massive this early in the season again. And just to for those who missed it with the Niners. George Kittle got knocked out of the game against the Seahawks on Sunday. He's sidelined for multiple weeks with a hamstring injury. Maybe even going to put him on IR because of the nature of a hamstring injury. And then Brock Purdy day to day with a left shoulder and a toe injury, leaving his status uncertain for the upcoming game against the Saints. Mac Jones, your QB2 in San Francisco, if Brock Purdy is unable to go this week against the Saints.
That is very concerning that we're already 1 week in and the 49ers are just decimated with injuries. Losing Kittle for a handful of weeks with a hamstring, that is massive. And all of a sudden now Purdy is banged up. It's like, this is the most cursed franchise with injuries.
Sure has been.
I was curious. I want to ask you, any thought about the Rams? I know it wasn't great offensively. I know they have a lot of new pieces that it will try to bring together, mainly Stafford and Devontae Adams, but nice win against the Texans.
I'm perfectly comfortable saying that I have no handle on the Rams.
Okay.
Whatsoever. I may not have a handle on anything, but I certainly don't have a handle on the Rams.
Gotcha.
Let's put it that way. Any others here, Danny? We want to go past the number one seeds, or was it only the number one seeds that we had here?
I think we might.
Let's go MVP. Let's do MVP real quick. This should be fascinating after week one. Josh Allen with the frenetic comeback. Actually, not even that frenetic. He looked as calm as could be, just picking apart the Ravens' defense on the comeback. 40-25 deficit erased by Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen plus 320 to win his back-to-back MVP. Lamar Jackson plus 380 to win what would be his third in 4 years, and quite frankly would have been his fourth in 4 years if people were doing it right. Here's where it gets pretty interesting for me. The two quarterbacks taking on each other Thursday night, Jaden Daniels and Jordan Love, are both 10-1. Then Mahomes and Burrow at 11-1. Herbert 12-1. Hurts 15-1. Jaden Daniels, now I'm going to be accused of being a homer here. Okay, Allen and Jackson are the obvious short shots. But Jaden Daniels, who lots of folks, right, he can't be as good as he was his rookie year. And I kept saying, y'all didn't watch him then. This is not a candidate for a sophomore slump.